ready to go for game number 2 today and set to take center stage here in Glendale, Wisconsin is number 4 Benedictine and number 5 Marian. We got a good one coming up after a 4-1 victory for Edgewood over CUC. Peter Borkowski, Ethan Birch will have you covered here for a long day of baseball. Continuing, Peter, we just saw an excellent game. Now moving forward here to Benedictine and Marian. What are you focusing on here in this matchup?
Well, we saw it today between Edgewood and CUC, and we saw it yesterday for Marian. It's all about the pitching so far. Of the 3 games we've seen so far this tournament, yesterday's single elim games and then today's first double elimination game between the Cougars and the Eagles of Edgewood, only one of the games has really had some high-scoring offense, and that was yesterday in Edgewood versus Rockford. Edgewood ended up taking that one. It was 9-8 in extra innings. So other than that, though, yesterday, Marian, which we'll talk about a little bit in a second here, they defeated Concordia, Wisconsin 2-0. An excellent pitching performance out of Tanner Alstein. 9 innings, 7 hits, a walk, and 3 Ks. And then last game, like you alluded to, we saw a very good game. The scoreboard might not have really shown it. It was a 4-1 Edgewood win, but we saw probably what was one of the best pitching performances I've seen of any baseball pitcher across, any of the college levels out of it was Aiden Shoemaker through 9 innings, only allowing the 1 run, 121 pitches. So I'm really interested to see here today what these 2 pitchers we have in store, what they have in store for us. Blake Griesbach will throw for Marian. Meanwhile, it'll be JT Adams for the Eagles. So I'm interested to see, are we going to see another pitching duel like we saw of the 2 of the first 3 games we've had this tournament? Or are we going to get something more like Edgewood Rockford yesterday, a little more high scoring? You're going to get in those upper teams in terms of the total score. So these are 2 exciting teams here. You got the 5-seeded Sabres. You got the 4-seeded Ben U, the closest seed matchup we've had yet so far, at least in the double elim round. So it's going to be a really interesting game. And again, winner of this doesn't really get any easier for them after this game. They have to play the number 1 seeded and the host, MSOE, later today at 7 p.m. Sabres and the Eagles of Benedictine. They're going to be looking to see who can move on to that next game later today.
Great breakdown there. This should be a very good game. Again, the 4-seed Benedictine and number 5 Marian. So right now, JT Adams, the 6'1 senior, getting a start here in the postseason. Peter, we just saw an upset. We saw a team that was in momentum come into this second day of the tournament, the first for CUC, and beat them 4-1. What are some of the keys for Benedictine, a team that has yet to play here in the tournament compared to a Marian team who's rolling in with momentum?
Well, it's really just 2. First off, you mentioned JT Adams on the mound. Statistics-wise, he's been the ace so far for the Eagles this year. A 3.83 ERA across 49 innings and a third. That is the best ERA on the team. That is also the most innings pitched on the team. He's made 6 starts this year. That's only third, but he's done the bulk of innings work for this Eagles squad. So, again, we already saw a great pitching performance today out of Aiden Shoemaker in Game 1 between the Eagles of Edgewood and Concordia University of Chicago. See what JT Adams has got for us. But on top of that, maybe we start seeing some offense today finally after only 5 runs in that first game, 4 of which came from just one team. Ben U rolling into today. They're top 3 in a ton of offensive categories in this conference. Batting average, they're first in runs. They are second in doubles, tied for second in home runs and RBIs, third in slug, and first in walks and on base. This is a very good Ben U offense, but like we saw last game with CUC, you could have the best offense in the world. It doesn't matter if you run into the hot hand of a pitcher. So I think that's going to be the keys here for Ben U is see what JT Adams has got, see if we get another ace pitching performance today, and also see if the offense gets going, start seeing some runs put up on the board for the first time today.
Adams just threw his first pitch. It was outside for a ball, and off we go here in Game 2 today. Logan Radaman is the leadoff hitter here for Marian. They're in their gray uniforms with blue tops, and Ben U in the bright red with white bottoms and black hats. So Radaman followed by Robbie Knorr and James Bornick, as this one's lifted in the air to left field, but right at Nonaman, who barely has to move, stationed in the right spot. Couple pitches and the first out here in the top of the first, and an opportunity to check out the rest of the starting 9 here for Marian. Middle of the order is Ryan Nelson in the DH, Jacob Clayman in left field, Dylan Peace at second, and 7-8-9 is Albert Kiska catching, Mark Jones in right, and Gus Walker in center as Adams deals a strike on the outside corner. Alex Bartman is your home plate umpire. Mike Slewinski is over at first, and Sean Philbin is over at third. It's a 3-man umpiring crew. Big swing and a foul tip there, and it's quickly 0-2 here to Robbie Knorr.
Yeah, Knorr coming in, some nice statistics on the year. 38 games played, 149 at-bats, a .315 average that sits nice and pretty at third place amongst these Sabres hitters. Sabres as a team batting .282. They have scored 245 runs, and they've allowed 245 runs. So dead even in the run differential category, this Sabres offense and defense is. And we could talk about this more next inning, but that's another key is the Sabres defense. Second in fielding percentage. They've allowed the second least amount of errors.
Swing and a miss there. Good breaking ball. Got Knorr chasing something down in the turf. And it's 2 up, 2 down here for Benedictine, and JT Adams was off to a nice start. And James Bornick is now coming up, a big lefty wearing number 7 in gray.
Yeah, Bornick is second on the team in batting average, 1 spot ahead of Robbie Knorr. .323 batting average, over 124 at-bats. Actually a little bit lower on that at-bat total compared to some of the players surrounding him in the average. Radaman leads the team in average and at-bat and has 144 at-bats. And then, like I mentioned, Robbie Knorr with 149. So Bornick hasn't had as many official at-bats, but is at batting average just as good as those other 2 players.
OPS is .895 here for the lefty in the 3-hole. This is start number 33 on the season. Appearance number 37 for a Marian team that went 21-19 up to this point. This is slashed out to the left side, past the dive of Fell, and into left field. It's a 2-out knock here for Bornick, and he's aboard here in the top of the first inning. Nice piece of hitting.
Yeah, that's what you like to see with 2 outs. Doesn't go for anything too extreme, just a base knock. And even if he doesn't end up coming home this inning, which, again, tough task with 2 outs already on the board, at least you're extending this first inning for Adams. You're letting your other batters kind of see what Adams has in his repertoire, because before that hit, it looked to be a very quick inning for JT Adams.
Ryan Nelson now coming up to the plate, the designated hitter here for the Marian Sabres. Adams working out of the stretch for the very first time, spikes one down in the turf, and it's 2-0. So we'll see how Adams is affected after the 2-out base knock. Marian rolls into play with 3 straight wins, including the victory yesterday, to stay alive and enter this double elimination tournament. 2-0 hitters count downstairs and low, and all of a sudden, an inning that looked like could have went down 1-2-3. 2-out hit Bornick. Nelson in the box in a 3-0 count against this Benedictine team who has won 5 in a row, 25-15 this year. Adams deals a strike right on the outside corner. A late strike call there from Bartman behind the dish.
Yeah, you said it yourself in terms of their win streaks. These are 2 very hot teams. Marian won 3 straight, including yesterday's single elimination game. Benny's on a 5-game streak. Marian's also 4-1 in their last 5.
Runner went on a 3-1. That's bounced on over to short. Fell throws Nelson out to end the top of the first inning. First look at the Ben U offense coming up when we return. Bringing you back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Game 2 of 4 on this sunny day in Wisconsin. Number 5, Marian, onto the field right now, getting behind their starter, Blake Griesbach, wearing number 77 here for the team in gray. Peter, what can you tell us about the righty?
Yeah, Griesbach making his 11th appearance. He's pitched just 1 out shy of 41 innings on the year. A very respectable 3.76 ERA, 2-1 record, and amongst those 40 2/3 innings of work, he's allowed 15 runs and has struck out 18. So just about a 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. But I touched on it a little bit last inning. What I'm interested in is this Marian defense. Second in fielding percentage. They've committed the second least amount of errors in the conference. They've also turned the third most double plays. So this is a very solid Marian team. They aren't top 3 in any offensive statistics. So it just kind of shows you that they earned that 5th seed without really being that special of an offensive squad.
First one delivered is a strike from Griesbach. We're officially underway in the bottom of the first. Batevis, George leading things off here for Ben U. Slashes one the other way, right field, sinking fast, base hit into right field. Jones will have to play it on a hop. It's a beautiful inside-out swing for Batevis, and this powerful Ben U offense is off to a good start here in the bottom of the first. Brennan Fisher coming up next.
Yeah, like I mentioned, top 3 in a multitude of offensive categories within the NACC. They lead the conference in total runs scored, 353 on the year. They've also walked the most, 201, so good plate discipline, and a 419 on-base percentage. So this team gets on base a lot. They score a lot of runs. They hit a lot of homers. They're tied for second in that category. One of those offenses that just kind of does a little bit of everything, always finds a way to cross home, and now they got the pleasure of going up against Griesbach. And I will say for Marian's pitching staff, they only used 1 pitcher yesterday, so this is a very fresh pitching staff, even though they played yesterday.
Fisher with an excellent 4.21 average. Watches the spinner drop into the zone, and it's quickly 0-2. 4.21 average. Absolutely remarkable. It sits second in the conference right now behind Kyle Mack of Aurora. He'll be on in the next game later today. No balls and 2 strikes. Fisher goes the other way and pokes it through the 5-6 hole. An excellent 2-strike approach. And the first 2 are on here for Ben U in the bottom of the first inning.
Like I said, this offense can score a lot of ways, and so far we've seen 2 different kind of hits. We've seen a little blooper into right field, and then we saw a nice little base hit through the left side. So this Ben U offense, they can beat you in a lot of ways. They're not just a home run team. They're not just a base running threat. And as we've seen through these first 2 batters, they got some very mature hitters in this lineup.
Another big lefty digs in, and Campbell showing bunt. Campbell able to pull back on a breaking ball that was downstairs. Kiska is behind the plate. A look at the defensive alignment here for the Sabres. Nelson in the DH. At third is Radaman. At short is Knorr. At second is Pease. Bornick at first in the outfield. Left to right, Clayman, Walker, and Jones. Campbell out in right field here for Benedictine. The Eagles, an opportunity to score first. Bunt gets down. Griezmann off the mound, throws to third, and gets the lead runner. Excellent play down the hill, and a spin from Griesbach for the first out.
Again, defense is the key for this Marian squad, and we see it right there. Griesbach could have easily gone to first, had plenty of time to get the easy out on the sack bunt, but instead decides to be a little risky, goes to third, and it pays off. They get the lead runner, still 1 out on the board, but a nice pitch here, and you're out of the inning.
Breaking ball dusts Nick Castro-Villari off the plate. And it's 1-0 to a 331 hitter. A 953 OPS, has played in every single game this year for this Eagles squad. 21 extra base hits, is driven in 35. And watches 2 breaking balls miss downstairs. And it's a hitter's count here for the cleanup hitter with 1 out and a couple runners on. You got Fisher at second and Campbell at first. Benedictine looking to get on the board, looking to set the tone after a nice inning from their starter, JT Adams. 3 straight curveballs, and it's 3-0.
And something you got to know if you're Griesbach, which I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, but when you have the defense that's put up the numbers they have this year, you got to pitch to contact there, right? You got to trust your defense. You're okay maybe giving a little bit more over the plate. Obviously, you don't want to give any meatballs up, but you're okay giving up some contact because you know you have a very, very nice fielding squad behind you.
That one somehow find the zone on the outside corner. Still a hitter's count here. Castro Villari. Opportunity to capitalize. 3-1. Another breaking ball and another ball. It's a 5-pitch walk, and they're loaded. But Doric coming up with the bags loaded.
Yeah, Bedoric, another really good hitter, 336 across 128 at-bats. Something to note, of Benedictine's 8 qualifying hitters, 6 of them are hitting over 300, and the 7th, that is Justin Neuneman, who we'll see here in a couple batters. He's hitting 265, so of those 8 qualified hitters for Benny, there's really no break in the batting average department. All these guys can hit.
First one was pop foul, and it's 0-1. Got the third baseman, Radaman, playing even with the base path, right on the edge of the infield turf. 0-1. Tapped over the mound. This could be 2. Nor tags the bag for 1. Tosses it on over to first, and it's an inning-ending double play. Marian wiggles out of a bases-loaded jam. This game is scoreless. On to inning number 2. Bringing you back here on inning number 2. Still scoreless as JT Adams is back out there. Clayman, Peace, and Kiska, 5, 6, and 7 due up here for the Sabres. First one is yanked foul down the right field line off the bat of Clayman. So Marian had their backs against the wall in that first inning. Bases loaded and 1 out after a couple hits and a walk. But Mike Bedoric bounced into a 6-6-4 inning-ending double play, and Marian able to escape it, and now they come back up to the plate here in the second inning. Clayman in a 1-1 count here.
Yeah, you got a lot of momentum here. Again, 2 great defensive plays get you out of last inning. You had Griesbach with the throw to third on the bunt. Beautiful play by the starting pitcher, and then, like you said, you had the double play basically pulled off by himself. Robbie Knorr coming in from short and make the play. And when you're a team whose offense has maybe struggled at points this year, or at least isn't as good on paper as your opponent in Benedictine, you got to use that defense to offense momentum to your advantage.
A foul on 2-2, and we'll have to do it again. Marian picked up a 2-out knock from Bornick in that first inning, but Ryan Nelson was retired pretty quickly afterwards on a 6-3 putout.
As for Clayman.
Slash foul, another 2-2 coming.
He's coming into this game starting out in left field, a 300 hitter, 150 at-bats. That leads the team in the plate appearance category.
Another 2-2. Not much feel on the breaking ball there from Clayman. Good chance to go through Benedictine's defensive alignment. Nonaman is in left. You met him in the first inning. Batevis is in center. Campbell in right. Castro Valari at third, fell at short. Juicy Jr. at second, and Fisher at first on a swing and a foul ball. And lastly, Butler is catching with Bedoric in the DH. So we'll have to do that 3-2 again, as Clayman was able to catch up with that fastball upstairs and barely get a piece of it.
And it looked like it got in Butler's glove, too. He just couldn't clinch it.
On the ground right side, Juicy Jr. plants his feet in the turf and throws Clayman out for the first out here in the second. It'll bring up Dylan Pease, the second baseman of Marian.
Yeah, Pease so far this year, not a qualifying hitter, only 82 at-bats, but put up a 280 mark in the batting average category across that smaller sample size, but gets the nod here to start from Coach Jordan Badinger, 8th season with the squad.
It's out to left, but a routine play out there for Nonaman. Was shaded in against the lefty Pease and lined up in a good spot. Wasn't playing too deep, and with the wind going from the right field pole to the left field pole, nothing is really going to fly today. We saw that in the CUC game earlier against Edgewood. As there's now 2 outs and nobody on, and Adams deals a strike on that outside corner, living there as Kiska is now the hitter.
Albert Kiska, 32 games played. 26 of them were starts coming in today, 87 at-bats, a 241 mark in the batting average department. That is the lowest amongst Marian's qualifying hitters. See what he can do here with 2 outs. May get something started.
He gets fooled. Great breaking ball there from Adams. Maybe the best pitch he's thrown so far, and it's 1-2, and he's got the opportunity of tossing his first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. As that one ripped on the ground, pole side for the righty Kiska. Mark Jones is up next in the on-deck circle, the right fielder for the Sabres.
Sabres got a 2-out base knock last inning. Let me see if they can replicate that here, keep the inning alive.
Oh, well, the inning's definitely alive.
That's one way to do it.
As Adams loses the breaking ball there and plunks Kiska.
You know Adams got to be kicking himself about that one. Never want to hit a batter, but especially when you're ahead in the count 1-2 to a Kiska, who, again, batting just 241 coming into this game. And because of a maybe slip in the grip or whatever it may be, he extends this inning for Marian.
So Jones, mentioned him just a few moments ago. Here he is in the right-handed batter's box, a 255 hitter. Start number 38 this year for Marian University. 1-0 your count. And now 2-0. So Adams, very similar stuff to that first inning. Got 2 really quick outs, the base hit, and then fell far behind Ryan Wilson before making a good pitch to get out of the inning. And now he is once again far behind Mark Jones.
Yeah, it's all about recollecting yourself after that 2-out, base hit in the first inning, then hit by pitch here in the second inning. You got plenty. You got 2 open bases to work with.
That one dealt right down Main Street. So it's now 3-1.
You also got 2 outs, and that's kind of, you need to have that mindset of, hey, it doesn't matter what, an out is an out at this point. Strike out, fly out, line out, ground out, whatever it may be. The third out is the third out. But I'm just going to have to wait for it for another batter.
Another walk. After the hit by pitch with 2 outs, Jones gets walked on 5 pitches, and it brings up Gus Walker, the 9 hitter. So the top of the order looming here in the top of the second inning. Walker, a 238 hitter, averages low across 130 ABs. looking to get a board here, extend the inning. He's driven in 18 this year.
Yeah, and as obvious as it might sound, if you're Adams, you want to end the inning here because, like you said, Ethan, you got the top of the lineup coming up next. Still 2 outs, yes, but you have the top 3 hitters in Marian's lineup in terms of both their order as well as their batting average coming up with Radaman, Knorr, and Bornick. They're first, third, and second, respectively, in Marian's batting average leaderboard. As I like this decision here from the Benny's coaching staff. Again, they know if they don't get an out here, things could turn south quickly with the top of the lineup coming up.
Yeah, it looks like Adam O'Malley, the assistant coach, is going out there just for a conversation here with Adams. Obviously run into a little bit of trouble here in this second inning. He's now thrown 35 pitches through an inning and 2/3. Allowed the hit in the first inning, but got out of it, stranded a runner on, and now a 2-out hit by pitch and a 5-pitch walk have put him into some trouble here. And Gus Walker, the 9-hitter, is in a 2-0 count, looking to capitalize here for the Sabres.
242 hitter on the year Gus Walker is, but he's got the lead in the count, and now it's an even bigger lead after that miss.
3-0, Radaman up next.
The good thing about this at-bat for Adams is you have a base open. Third base, no one's standing there, so you don't have to directly go at him, and he doesn't there either.
His last 8 of 9 pitches have been balls. And here comes the top of the order, Logan Radaman.
Yeah, now the pressure's really on, right? Can't put him anywhere. Bases are loaded. You walk him, that's going to push a run across. You got the best hitter by batting average in this Marian lineup, that 347 mark for Logan Radaman. He's driven in 18 RBIs, which actually isn't even in the top 4 for Marian, but you got to most likely chalk that up to he's playing in the leadoff spot. How many RBI opportunities does he usually get? He's got a big opportunity here. Bags loaded. Got to reach safely, though. 2 outs.
Flew out to left in his first AB. And now in a 1-1 count.
The silver lining for Adams, though, like I said, you just need an out. It doesn't matter how. 3rd out is the 3rd out.
Bendu stranded the bases loaded in the bottom of the 1st. Now looking for Marian to do the exact same. Counts 2-1.
And this would be a huge, huge hit for Marian if they could drive a couple runs in.
It's now 3-1. An inning that looked like it was completely over. All of a sudden, with 2 outs, Adams has lost his feel of the zone. Radaman on a 3-1 takes a big swing and pops it up right side. Fisher hoping for a shot, shading the sun, making the running
nice
catch. Excellent catch along the warning track in front of the sidewall. Both teams strand the bases loaded. And we go on to the home half of the second. Bringing it back here, bottom of the second inning, still scoreless. Peter, there's been a lot of action on the base path, but not one run has crossed.
Yeah, Marian leaving them loaded in the last half inning we saw, and then Ben their first half inning of offensive action, they were loaded, and then they hit into a double play to end the inning. So
this one on the hands, right side off the bat at Juicy Jr., and an easy take to the bag here for Bornick. One pitch, one out here in the bottom of the second.
So we've seen these offenses. They've strung some hits together. They've strung some good at-bats together, I should say. Marian loaded the bases last inning without a hit by pitch, and then a pair of walks. It's all going to be about now who can find that crucial hit. When runners are in scoring position or even just on the bags, who's going to get that hit?
The second pitch is bounced out to the opposite side, and Radaman throws out Nonaman. 2 pitches, 2 outs in the second.
And this is what you like to see out of Griesbach. Adams, while he did a good job getting out of that jam that he worked himself into, kind of killed any momentum Ben might have had after coming out of that bases loaded. This is what you want to see out of Griesbach, essentially, is, hey, we lost right? Ben got a lot of momentum coming out of that half inning defensively. Let's just go out there and shut their offense down. Let's kill any momentum they got from the defense and give our bats a good chance at our next half inning of work.
Butler able to lay off an 0-1 changeup that was tailing away from the left-handed batter Butler. Then offers at the next one and hits a one-hopper to short. Nor a clean pickup and a good throw. That's about as quick as it gets. 6-pitch inning. And we're on to the third. Still scoreless. Top of the third inning coming your way. Scoreless baseball through the first two. Griesbach and JT Adams. So far, Peter, what have you seen from Adams?
Well, kind of like we saw with Ryan Rinella in the Cougars last game. Tale of 2 innings for JT Adams. First inning, 4 batters, got a strikeout, only allowed a single, and it was a very efficient inning from JT Adams. That second inning, however, faced 6 hitters, walked 2, and hit a batter, and now he's given up a leadoff single. So, kind of that, maybe had a little bit of that high coming into that game. Hey, playoff baseball, like our team's first game, my first appearance of the postseason, feeling good. Once that second inning hits, though, kind of turns into a different story for these guys.
It's a base hit for the 2-hitter Robbie Knorr. Now James Bornick coming up to the plate, the 3-hitter here for Marian. Now, these two teams met up in Fond du Lac at Marian University as Adams takes a look over at first. And it was Marian who got the best of Benedictine twice. And it was 2 high-scoring games, 14-13, 13-9. It almost shocks you that there haven't been any runs on the board just yet. Bornick takes a first-pitch strike.
Yeah, in that first game, that 14-13 win for Benny, start of the day was Blake Griesbach. 4 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs, all of which were earned, 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. And we haven't seen that version of him yet today. He's been pretty clean other than a bases loaded jam that they got a double play out of. So Griesbach, second time that he's seen this Benedictine squad this year. As for JT Adams, he didn't appear in either game. So first time that Marian has seen JT on the mound.
Warnick stays alive on an 0-2, able to fight it off with a defensive swing. All-time, Benedictine has dominated the all-time series against Marian, 21-11. And those two losses come after sweeping them last year. This all-time series dating back to 1994, a long, rich history between these Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference rivals, as it's now 1-2 here to Bornick, who singled in his first AB. Went the other way on a ground ball through the 5-6 hole. Counts 1-2, breaking ball hit up the middle, into center field, base hit. A couple hard-hit baseballs have highlighted the first few hitters of the third inning, and now the 4-hitter, Ryan Nelson, coming up with the table set.
And Marian, you know, in terms of the seeding, it's only 5 versus 4, Marian being the 5, Benedictine being the 4, but a lot of different history in terms of recent NACC success. Benedictine, this is their 5th straight tournament appearance, and they're the reigning champs from last year. They won it all as a 3 seed, 1 seed lower this year. They then went 1-2 in NCAA play, losing to Co and UW La Crosse. Won against Bethel, however. As for Marian, this is just their 2nd straight appearance. They didn't win in last year's single elimination game. So you're going up against the reigning champs, a team in Benedictine who is at this stage consistently year to year to year, versus a Marian team who trying to build off of last year, just making the tournament and losing in game 1. This year they've made the tournament. They won in game 1. See if they could get another one, though.
Nelson has been unable to get a bunt down twice. Now he pops one up. So the count will remain no balls and 2 strikes.
Nelson, the ground out to short. That ended the first inning with Bornick at first. Bornick now 2 for 2. Should mention that. Might be something to pay attention to as we continue to go through this game and we get closer to JT Adams facing this lineup for a 3rd time. Still a ways to go, though.
0-2. Pitch lifted in the air, right field. It's shallow. Campbell coming on, still coming on. Into a slide, and a nice catch there from Campbell out in right. Now, we mentioned that wind's going from the right field pole to the left field pole. Well, there's an example of how wild and chaotic it can get when the ball enters the sky. And right then and there, Campbell looked like he had an easy read off the bat and then was forced to accelerate towards the plate.
I was going to say, it looked a little frantic there at the end. He kind of hit a nice stride off the bat, and then, like you said, Ethan, kind of sped up and then had to go into a semi-dive feet first at the very end of the play to make the snag. But, hey, at the end of the day, it goes down as an out in the scorebook, no matter how pretty it was or not.
It's 0-1 here to claim in. Grounded out to second in his first at-bat, so 0 for 1 thus far. First 2 are on for Marian. Now there's 1 out in a 1-1 count. We'll see who's going to break the ice here in this one. Both teams have threatened big time, but no one has come through with the big hit with runners in scoring position.
Get a pause here from home plate umpire Alex Bartman. Look down the third base line and then look to the Marian dugout to his right. Not sure what that was about. Hard to hear everything up here in the enclosed booth.
It's downstairs, 2-1. Common theme so far with Adams is that when things have gone wrong, he's lost his control. He's got to be able to get a grasp on it. You saw it play a big factor in that second inning. He was able to escape. Can he escape this jam as well? Not sure if he's going to do it. Base hit, claim it into right. Nor getting the wave. Relay to the plate. Not in time. Jacob Clayman breaks the ice, and it's 1-0 Marian here in the third.
It didn't, end up working out in the end, but that was an excellent relay. Campbell and Wright to Fisher, the first baseman, and then to Butler at home. And I think if Butler was maybe positioned a little back more, he was kind of in front of the plate, had to spin around and try to reach behind him. Maybe if he was a little back more, it would have been an easier tag. That was a good relay.
Piece on the ground right side. Only shot is to first base, and Juicy Jr. makes a nice play over there. A circle around that baseball and throw on the run. It was on target. It moves 2 into scoring position with 2 outs, and Albert Kiska coming up.
And I like the aggression from Marian, too. I mean, you had runners at first and second. That wasn't exactly a deep ball into right. And as we saw, it was very close to being out at the plate. But third base coach for Marian sending the man saying, hey, the rate this game is going, we got to take all the runs we get. I like the aggressive approach. And, well, lucky it didn't burn them that time after, again, a really nice relay from Ben Yu.
Kiska on the ground, foul ball right side of home plate, and it's quickly 0-2 with Bornick at third and Clayman at second. Adams has surrendered a run so far in the inning, hoping to keep it that way. He'd like a new ball beforehand. Most recently, Adams went 5 innings against Illinois Tech. Allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, only 2 were earned. Problem was he walked 5. And the walks, 24 of them this year. Started not so great against St. John Fisher, walked 6, but then settled in. This one lifted in the air, left field, pretty deep. Nonaman going back, getting under it, now camping under it, and ending the inning. So Adams surrenders a run on a Jacob Clayman RBI single, and we head to the home half of the third inning in a 1-0 game favoring Marian. It's the bottom of the third inning. Here at Raiders Stadium on the campus of MSOE. Peter Barkowski, Ethan Birch, 2 of us got you covered all weekend long. Zach Fell lead things off, showing bunt, turning around on a breaking ball that drops into the zone for a strike, and it's 0-1. It's Fell, Batevis, and Fisher. 9-1-2 here for the Eagles of Benedictine, who now trail a run. That one skips down in the turf, a ball and a strike. Fell the shortstop here for Benedictine.
Yeah, different game now for Blake Griesbach. You're playing with the lead, a slim lead at that, 1-0. Smallest lead you can get in the game. See if that kind of changes anything for him. He's looked very sharp through 2 innings. Ran into some trouble at the first, some nifty defense got him out of it, and then a 1-2-3 inning in the second.
Quick one, too. Just 6 pitches to get through the second inning on 3 ground balls. Falling behind here, 3-1 here to the 9-hitter.
So always a little different game when you're working with the lead now. Bennu might get a little bit more aggressive at the plate, trying to even it up.
That's a 5-pitch walk.
That's a good start from Zach Fell. Second time today already, Bennu has gotten the leadoff hitter to reach. Tevis did so in the first with a single. Again, when the first inning started, things were looking very good for the Eagles. Back-to-back singles to start off the game. Since then, Griesbach has really dialed in his game. Before that, he had retired at 4 straight Bennu batters.
Tevis, the leadoff hitter, takes a big, big cut at that first pitch breaking ball. Taps it foul, and Tevis looking to run into one. He's done it 14 times this year. 14 long balls. Leads the NACC. I mean, the most powerful hitter potentially on display this weekend. Here in the leadoff spot for the Eagles. Got another good pitch to hit there. Just missed it 0-2.
Yeah, a little interesting having your leadoff hitter being the conference home run leader. Usually see those guys in the 3 or the 4 spot, but head coach for Benedictine, Adam Smith, 10th season with the squad, 212, 128 in conference play, 192 and 180 overall. So interesting strategic decision having maybe your best power hitter leading things off.
Another breaking ball, and it's lined into center. Beautiful 2-strike approach there from Tevis. Able to cut the swing down. The breaking ball dropped right over the middle of the zone, and he punched it back up the middle. First 2 are on here for the Eagles, and the heart of the order coming up.
Yeah, Brennan Fisher, he had a single in the first. Kyle Campbell on deck, he hit into a fielder's choice. That was an excellent play by Griesbach on the bunt. And then Castro Villari, who's in the hole. I don't know if we'll see him this inning or not, but he drew a walk. So this is who you want up with 2 on, no outs.
Fisher leaves the first one outside. Fisher, one of the most prolific hitters, bat to ball in this conference. I mean, the OPS of 1051, playing in every single game here for the Eagles. The big lefty, that's off the end of the bat to shortstop Knorr. He'll have to sling it to first, and it's not handled. Bornick did his best to keep his foot on the bag. He had to stretch into the line. Should be an error, and the bases are loaded with nobody out.
And that's really sharp base running from George Tevis. I mean, that had double play written all over it. It was a well-hit grounder over to short. And, you know, the shortstop, Knorr, he gave second base a look, caused him to double clutch a little bit, and still got the throw over in time. And, yeah, like you said, Bornick over at first just couldn't hang on to it. Had it in his glove, too, and just let it go. So Benny working with a little bit of extra life here.
Yeah, extra life indeed. The bases are loaded now. There is nobody out. Fell is on third. Tevis at second. Fisher on first after reaching on the error. And it brings up Kyle Campbell. He's hit 5 homers this year, driven in 35. An OPS of 953. Excellent campaign here in 2025. And the grad student from St. Charles, Illinois, takes the first one outside. It's Benedictine University, an opportunity here to get that run back that they surrendered in the top of the third and some. Campbell in a 2-0 count, in a position to pick one out.
So this is about as high pressure as you can get, right? No outs, bases loaded. You can't walk him without surrendering a run. But when you have someone as prolific as Campbell at the plate, you can't pitch to him either because you know if you give him one bad pitch, he's going to make you pay for it. And with the bags loaded, that could mean 2, 3, 4 runs possibly.
Counts 3-0. Griesbach in a load of trouble here. See if Campbell gets the green light. Upstairs ball 4. The game is tied.
Yeah, and I like, you mentioned the green light. I like that approach from Campbell, right? Griesbach has really struggled here. It's one of those things. I want to take a swing until he throws me a strike, right? Let him find the zone, or just let him keep struggling, take a free run out of it, right? I mean, worst thing you could do is maybe hit into a double play and kill some momentum. So, and you have, a couple more really good hitters behind you. So taking a walk there, only scoring 1 run, nowhere near the end of the world for Ben U's offense. Still bags loaded, no one out.
Castrovillari still without an official AB in this one. Walked in his first at-bat. Now checks his swing, and he did check it. Mike Slowinski, the first base umpire, confirming the call. So the count is even, a ball and a strike. And Marian, who got themselves into a bases-loaded jam in the first, was able to escape unharmed. Benedictine has already brought home 1 in the inning. A chance to take their first lead on a breaking ball that dumps in for a strike. Good front door action on it. And the count here, a ball and 2 strikes with Mike Bedoric up next. Gotta think he's looking for some redemption after grounding in to that inning-ending double play in the first inning. 1-2. Taking just up and out.
A nice pitch, a little nice movement on it. But when you're up, 1-2 in the count, you can afford to throw a pitch like that. If it misses, well, you're evened up like you are now. If it pays off, that would have been a huge strikeout. Instead, Griesbach got a little more work to do in this at-bat.
Hit back up the middle. That is into center field. But Tevis scores, so does Fisher on a Nick Castrovillari 2-run single. And Benedictine counters with 3.
We're waiting for someone to kind of blow this one open. We've seen so many base runners coming into this 3rd inning, and Marian able to scratch one across in the top of the inning. You're probably feeling pretty good. Defense is looking good. Griesbach was looking good after a 1-2-3 second. And all of a sudden, this Ben U offense that's been so prolific all year, they come to life here in the bottom of the 3rd. They put 3 up. Runners still in the corners, right? Another run just 90 feet away, and you have 0 outs on the board.
Ben U smelling blood in the water right now as this one's popped up mile high on the infield. Who's going to take it? It's the first baseman, Bornick, who makes the catch in foul grounds. And that'll help put out at least a little bit of the fire here in the 3rd inning.
Yep, now you're 1 good pitch away from getting out of it with only 3 runs given up. I say only 3 runs given up. Obviously, those are a big 3 runs, gives you a 2-run lead after you're down 1-0 coming into the half of the inning. As you can see, Kiska coming out, flashing some signs to the infield. You gotta think they're looking at a double play ball here, trying to keep it out with damage minimal.
Little cue shot out to the right side. That ball is on the ground. Juicy Jr. digging it out to first. It'll bring home a run as Castrovillari is thrown out at second on the force. But Juicy Jr. does his job there. Wasn't exactly the most picture-perfect ground ball to the right side, but Peace does all he can, and it's 4-1.
Yeah, and second baseman, Peace, like you said, does what he can, but might be kicking himself a little bit there. If he catches that, even though he was laid out, that's going to keep the runners where they're at. So, yes, you do get an out of it. Now there's 2 outs, the runner at first only, but you sacrifice a run on a play that probably should not have given up a run.
Noneman's the hitter, grounded out to 3rd in his first at-bat. That went down and out. Tremendous stop there behind the dish from Kiska.
Yeah, and we talked about it in that first game between Edgewood and CUC. But anything that gets past these catchers, that's a long way to go to the backstop. You're at MSOE Raiders Stadium. It's an easy extra bag for the runner.
This is the 8th hitter of the inning, a long one here in the home half of the 3rd.
And all started by walking the 9-hole hitter, Zach Fell. Shows just how important it is to get those guys out at the bottom of the lineup, because you put them on, you're going to run in the top of the lineup, and as we've seen this inning, Benyu's going to make you pay.
Runner goes on a breaking ball. Throwdown has no chance of getting Juicy Jr. out. He ran on the right pitch, and that's his 6th stolen base of this season. On 8 tries, he's in scoring position here with 2 outs. Nonaman in a 2-2 count.
All you need now is a base hit. Something through right side, left side even. You're going to probably played another run, as Kizka's really had to work this inning in terms of keeping that ball in front of him.
Yeah, everything's been downstairs on the misses here in this game from Griesbach. Surrendered 4 runs in this inning. Not all of them earned. There has been an error. We'll get you his final line when we come back after he gets Nonaman looking on the 3rd strike. Benedictine, they have made their statement. They make a dent. 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd, and they lead by 3. Headed to the 2nd third of this ball game. Well, entering the 4th inning. Benedictine on top. Adams back onto the mound, and the first pitch is pulled on the ground, foul from Mark Jones, followed by Gus Walker and Logan Radaman here in this 3rd inning. Big statement here from BU.
Yeah, and I'm feeling pretty good if I'm JT Adams, right? Those first 3 innings, not the prettiest thing in the world from Ben Hughes hurler, but now you're working with the 3-run cushion. You know, hey, I have another dirty inning. Like, I maybe walk a guy or 2. Like, it's not the end of the world. I got 3 runs to play with.
This one lifted high in the air to right, but shallow. Campbell coming on for the first out as the 8-hitter Jones is retired for the first time today.
And on top of that, he's just got to get through the bottom of the lineup to start this inning, right? Jones, the 8-hitter, he's already out. Gus Walker, the 9-hitter, he's coming up now. So you have a chance to get 2 outs here before you have to face Radaman as well as possibly Knorr and Bornick. Knorr and Bornick, 3 hits between their 4 at-bats.
And Adams delivers a strike to begin this at-bat to Gus Walker. His only plate appearance so far, he walked, came into this 2nd inning. 3 were stranded in that 2nd inning from Marian, who have now stranded 6 in the ball game. There's yet to be a 1-2-3 inning from Adams. But Marian has yet to capitalize with runners on base and with runners in scoring position outside of the 1 hit from Clayman. It's a breaking ball, wave and a miss, 1-2.
Yeah, and if I'm Coach Badinger of Marian, that's what I'm telling my guys is, hey, they're there, right? The guys are on the base pass. We just got to get that 1 or 2 clutch hits, and we're right back in this game. It's all there. You just got to put the pieces together.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's not like they've been completely held off the base pass. They've been getting to Adams, just not at the right time.
Another 2-strike pitch. Fly ball down the left field line. That ball is flying out of play. So far, Adams 3 1/3. He's dealt 65 pitches, has allowed 4 hits. The 1 run was earned. Couple walks and a strikeout. For Griesbach, 3 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs. 3 of them are earned. And 3 walks and a strikeout. 2-2. Outside. No chase there from Walker. And the 9-hitter. Looking to set up the top with Radaman coming up next. It was 0 for 2 so far, but the 2 and 3 hitters, Knorr and Bornick, have been hot for Marian. Lifted in the air, center fields. Batevis went back, now comes in, going to his right and making the catch.
Yeah, watching these outfielders so far today, in this game specifically, we really didn't see a ton of it between Edgewood and CUC in game 1 of today. It's been a little bit of an adventure. Nothing catastrophic yet, but between Patevis and center, and then we've seen Campbell struggle. I don't know if I'd say struggle, but just have to fight through a couple over and right. I think this wind is starting to pick up a little bit, cause a little more chaos for those outfielders.
First pitch softly hits center field. Radaman has a base knock. Just went down, dug it out, and lifted it into shallow, shallow center. No man's land. And now you get the 2-hitter Robbie Knorr coming up, fresh off of a base hit, and the only Marian run scored so far in the ballgame.
And this is where Marian needs to do their damage, right? Of their top 3 hitters, Radaman, Knorr, and Bornick, 4 hits amongst those 3. Everyone else in the lineup has just 1 as the RBI single from Clayman. So now is the time to do the damage. You got the leadoff man of the game on first base. 2 outs, yes, but you have your other 2 really good hitters in Knorr and Bornick at the plate. Time to make something happen before you start going more and more into the lineup.
Knorr checks his swing on a called strike. Middle of the zone there. Knorr 1 for 2. Mentioned the base hit in the 3rd inning. Struck out swinging in the 1st. It's the 1 strikeout Adam has. Now he gets a breaking ball and he laces it into left. On the barrel once again. It's his 2nd hit of the ball game, and the 3-hitter Bornick is coming up.
Bornick 2 for 2. Like I said, these top 3, they've done almost all of the damage besides Clayman RBI single last inning. They've done basically all of the work for Marian's offense. So you want to strike now. You want to strike with Bornick, see if he can go 3 for 3 to start this game and at least cut this lead down a little bit.
Bornick takes the first one outside off the plate as Adams started him with that curveball. So 4-1 the Bennu lead over Marian. But the tying run is right now at the plate for the 3-hitter Bornick, who swings, and it's a double play ball to second. Juicy Jr. will just go to first here. Didn't have much of a play, and, well, shouldn't be a double play ball when there's 2 outs. The inning comes to an end, and we're on to the bottom of the 4th as Marian strands a pair. Home half of the fourth inning is Bennu coming up to the plate with the 3-run lead. Kevin Butler to lead things off, and he gets a breaking ball that is downstairs. Butler fell, but Tevis, after an inning that brought 8 to the plate in the third. Fastball high, eye level, 2-0. Scored 4, 3 of them were earned. And now the 4 seed is in control as we are slowly creeping up on the midway point of this game, and Griesbach now behind 3-0.
Yeah, Marian's got a couple guys working down in the bullpen down the right field fence.
To lead off walk.
So we'll have to see how much longer Coach Badinger lets Griesbach work. And he looked good. Well, had some help defensively in the first, let's say that, and then looked very sharp in the second inning. But like you said, Ethan, an 8-batter third kind of derailed any momentum Griesbach might have had on the mound.
It's the 4th walk he's issued already. And now Zach Fell is the hitter. He was walked in his first plate appearance in the 3rd inning, did come around and score. So the 8 and 9 hitters for the Eagles, hoping to get something going. Once again, here for Bennu, as Griesbach zips in a strike. Level the count, 1-1.
Bennu coming into this weekend, 201 walks on the season. That is the most of any team in the conference. This is a team who has some excellent plate discipline, and we've seen it so far today. They're letting Griesbach do more damage to himself than they are to him, and the true mark of a good offensive team is they know when to strike. They're going to let Griesbach work himself into trouble, and then with the bases loaded, they're going to get a base hit. They're going to tack on a couple runs. They're not going to work any harder than they really need to when you have a pitcher on the mound who's struggling to find the zone.
Ball and 2 strikes here to Zach Fell. The BU shortstop. Takes the off speed, down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Winner of this one will move on, play tonight. Play the host, MSOE, the number 1 seed in this conference. Here at Raider Stadium. Right outside Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beautiful facility. Built not too long ago. All turf. So 2-2 is lifted high in the air to left. It's routine out there for Clayman. Barely moves. And that's the first out.
Yeah, you mentioned all turf. We even got turf up here in the broadcast booth as well. So they really went all out with the turfing. I feel like I could hit a couple mean sprints in here in between games.
Got our own workout. Got a couple long days. 4 games today, 4 tomorrow. Got to get the blood flowing somehow.
Hit a mean 40 time in here.
This one pulled on the ground from Betevis. So he's been good, 2 for 2. Couple base hits. Scored a run in the 3rd. Made a nice adjustment. And his most recent at-bat after falling behind 0-2 at a breaking ball into center field for a base hit. Now gets a fastball and pops it foul. So he's behind 0-2.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer we're going to see Griesbach, but if you're Coach Badinger and the rest of his coaching staff, you're just hoping, hey, maybe get us through this inning, see if you can go into the 5th. Right, let's make things a little less stressful on our bullpen. I know you had a rough 3rd inning. You gave up the 4 runs and gave up the lead, but, make things a little easier. You only threw 1 pitcher yesterday in the single Elam game.
Rollover shot, 3rd base side. Radaman to 2nd for 1. Relay from Peace, not in time to get Betevis. So that's the 2nd out here of the inning, as Betevis got fooled badly on that breaking ball. I mean, he was all over it, but on top of it, just chopping it high into the turf. There's 2 outs, and here comes Brendan Fisher.
And speaking a little more on Griesbach's longevity, he's only at 56 pitches, right? So as rough as that third inning was for him, it's not like his pitch count is super elevated. He is vastly outdueling JT Adams in that regard. Adams is sitting at 75 already, despite only one earned run, or one run in general, I should say. So the pitch count not entirely reflective of what these pitchers have been doing on the scoreboard.
Fisher 1 for 2 in the game. Base hit and reached on a fielder's choice. Back foot breaking ball taken, and it's 2-0. Mentioned Raider Stadium. It's opened in 2019. Synthetic turf, dugouts, lights. They'll be on tonight for the final game here today.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful complex as Fisher pops this one up left side. Radaman hoping for a shot, but just taking a look at that ball sailing towards the playground area over there.
I was going to say, yeah, it's not just the baseball field here. You got a little playground area to the left of the stadium. There's almost a concessions building almost behind us. Bathrooms in there, and then there's a softball field to our right. So plenty to do here at this little facility in Glendale.
Sun shining down on it. Here in the fourth inning as Fisher laces one right center field. That's going to be caught out there by Walker. Fisher gave it a good ride, but could not find a gap. We are on to the fifth inning here in Glendale, Wisconsin. Benedictine is leading. Entering the fifth inning here in a 4-1 game. Adams pitching with the lead, and he comes home to Nelson. And that one downstairs, Nelson, Clayman, and Peace. 2 up here for the Sabres. Looking at chip away. They got their only run of the ball game in the top of the third inning. Nelson 0 for 2 so far in the game, and now in a 1-1 count.
Yeah, now's the time to go after Adams as well. Third time through the lineup. Right, he's elevated pitch count. He's closing in on 80 already.
Fastball pulled on the ground along the third baseline. That's picked up in foul ground from Castro Villari.
So, get to Adams now. Maybe you start showing a couple signs of fatigue before Bennu brings in one of their bullpen arms. This Bennu staff as a whole, 6.21 ERA coming into today. That is 8th best in conference play.
Hit sharply out to short. It's Fell who gobbles it up and throws Nelson out. Nelson now 0 for 3 here in the ballgame. Remember, this is a double elimination format. So the loser of this one will actually get the rest of the day off and have to reload for our first elimination game of the day tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Yep, loser will take on number 3, Concordia Chicago, who fell to Edgewood earlier. And, maybe it's the CUC alum in me talking, but that is not a Cougars team that I would want to face tomorrow. right? That is a Cougars team who scores a ton of runs. They got shut out. They're probably frustrated after that game where they were just absolutely shut down by Aiden Shoemaker. 121 pitch shutout, complete game shutout. So whoever ends up losing this game, whether it's number 2 Benedictine or number 4 Benedictine or number 5 Marian, you're going up against a really tough opponent tomorrow, fighting for your playoff life.
Yeah, those elimination games are always going to be good. And actually, Concordia Chicago did get a run in that last inning
They did,
and
yeah. Yep, that's
put
true.
the tying run to home plate. So it felt like their offense just started to rev their engines in the final inning. They were shut down, and obviously it tipped the cap to Shoemaker. He was unbelievable, but for CUC's sake, it felt like they just got it going there at the end. This one's pulled on the ground, a foul ball to even the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. But when the season's on the line, crazy things happen. And tomorrow, with 3 elimination games in store, I mean, we will quickly go from 6 teams to 4 teams, and then to 3 teams real quickly tomorrow. This one is fair this time, and Fisher waves everybody off. He'll take that himself for the second out. Fun games coming up next with number 2 Aurora taking on Edgewood. Edgewood now rolling in hot. They've won 2 games already. And then, of course, the winner of this one to take on MSOE tonight. Expected to be a 7 o'clock first pitch, but keep an eye on how the schedule works today. We'll never start early, but we'll always start 30 minutes following the conclusion of a game. And in the game of baseball, sometimes we run a little bit late.
Yeah, these teams were kind of fortunate that CUC Edgewood game was so quick, thanks in large part to Shoemaker's quick work of the CUC lineup. They got a nice 40-minute break.
Tevis coming on to retire Pease and end the top of the 5th inning. We're halfway home, and Ben Yu coming up to the plate with the lead. Thank you. Bottom of the 5th inning in a 4-1 game. Due up here for Ben Yu is Campbell, Castro Volari, and Badoric. As Griesbach is still out there, looking to make his way through 5 innings. First one misses inside. And actually, the NACC just released our all-conference teams. What do we got going in this one right now?
Yeah, came out 15 minutes ago, and
this one popped up left side. Radaman giving chase, looking up, and it's foul. So 1-1 your count.
so no major award winners in this game. We'll actually potentially see one of them at next game. The Aurora, the pitcher of the year, Justin Zimmerman. We'll have to see if he's on the mound in Game 3 of today. That's coming up after this. But in terms of these 2 squads, JT Adams on the mound for Benedictine. He walked away with first-team honors. Brennan Fisher, who was the last player to bat for Ben Yu, in the 4th inning. He was first team as well. Batevis leading off for Ben Yu. He's first team. And as for Marian, no first team members, but Tanner Alstein, we mentioned his excellent game yesterday, walked away with a second team honor.
This one ripped down the right field line, sinking fast. That's a foul ball, about 2 feet off that right field line. An extra base is written all over it from the 3-hitter Campbell, but he'll have to step back into the box.
And then we had 4 Marian players earn honorable mentions: Radman, Knorr, Clayman, and the man on the mound right now, Blake Griesbach, all walking away with all conference mentions. As for Ben, you mentioned those 3 first-team members, no one on the second team, but then 4 players in the honorable mention category. Castro Villari, who we'll see in the next at-bat, we're about to see right now, actually.
As Campbell goes down looking. Good pitch on the inside corner, and a good start to this inning here for Griesbach.
So Castro Villari coming up to the plate. He's an all-conference honorable mention. Kyle Campbell just struck out. He was honorable mention. Bedoric, the man on deck as well, and then Zach Fell, the 9-hole hitter, honorable mention as well. So plenty of all-NACC players sprinkled throughout this game, especially on the Benny side with that trio of first-team members, Adams, Fisher, and Batevis. And you got an honorable mention thrown on the mound right now in Griesbach.
Castro Villari so far 1 for 1 in the game. He had the big hit in that 3rd inning that brought home all 4 Bennu runs. So that's upstairs 2-1. Came up with the bases loaded and hit a sharp ground ball up the middle. It drove home 2. It really made the statement at the time right now. It's the go-ahead hit and the difference maker in this game. He gets dusted off the plate on a fastball that was riding in on the righty. So 3 balls and 1 strike, a hitter's count here to the 4-hitter. Looking to stay hot in Benedictine's first game of the tournament. That one on the hands, popped up right side. Playable for Bornick, still going a long way. Now into a dive, and he doesn't get it. Right off the bat, it looked like Bornick would have had the routine play, but instead, the wind had other thoughts. That ball touches down, and it's a second life here for Castro Villari. Benedictine with 4 hits. Actually being out hit up to this point, but this is on the barrel, and hit number 5 is into the left center field. Big turn at first from Castro Villari, but he's got a 1-out base hit here in the 5th.
Yeah, really nice cutoff there from the center fielder, Walker. Able to get to that ball quickly, turn his body towards second, get the ball in. Like you said, Ethan, Castro Villari looked like he was going to go 2, but nice play by Walker off the base hit to just keep him at 1. Set up a double play here.
Bedoric, the hitter, in the 5-hole. Struggled so far, grounded into an inning-ending double play in the 1st inning and popped out. So looking for a little redemption here against the honorable mention all-NACC pitcher Griesbach. Grooves one in there a little low. 2 balls and no strikes. And now all of a sudden, the DH, Bedoric, in a big-time hitter's count. Looking to drive a baseball here with a runner on first and 1 out. And Griesbach will take a look over at first. Castro Villari back in, standing up. It's a Benedictine team that doesn't steal many bases. Smack in the middle of the NACC in that regard. Strike drops over 2-1.
Yeah, again, it says more about their offense, that they're doing all the things they've done this year, score the most runs in the conference without really being a huge base running threat. In terms of the stolen base, obviously you could still be a good base running team without stealing bags, but it just goes to show that they're just going to out-hit you, they're going to get their timely home runs, and they're going to get their walks too, leading the conference at that mark coming into the day with 2:01.
Hitters count 3-1. Bedoric. Hard hit out to second. Could be 2, 4, 6, and 3. Inning over. The flip from Peace to Knorr at second was high, but Knorr with an excellent adjustment and we're headed to inning number 6. Well, as we bring you back, Albert Kiska just destroyed a baseball. And all of a sudden, it's a 4-2 game as Marian comes through with their first run since the 3rd inning. Kiska roped a breaking ball well beyond the left field wall. And right after, Jones pops one up. It's going foul. But the run and the spark Marian has been searching for since that 3rd inning, and they finally scratch across a run here against JT Adams. Jones takes it outside.
Yeah, see what you can do now, right? You got some production out of the bottom of your lineup. Again, coming into this inning, once you got past the top 3 hitters, you only had 1 base hit from anyone in that bottom half plus of the Marian lineup.
Jones on the ground to the shortstop, fell. And that's your first out here in the top of the 6th inning. As much as traffic has been on the base path all game long, you got to credit Griesbach and Adams. They've done just fine jobs escaping and wiggling out of jams left and right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's shocking. It's only a 4-2 game.
Yeah, Griesbach had the one kind of yucky inning back in the 3rd. He gave up 4. Other than that, though, he's been really, again, I wouldn't say super clean, but he's been effective. And JT Adams, even though his pitch count is really up there, he's at 93 right now. Other than that, he's been really solid. The first team All-NACC member.
Gus hits it on the ground, a 2-hopper for Juicy Jr. That is too easy. And following the home run from Kiska, a couple ground outs. Order flipping around here for Radaman.
Yeah, this is best case scenario right now for Adams, right? You get the bottom of the lineup out after Kiska's home run, leadoff home run. So, yes, you have the top 3 hitters who so far have combined for 5 hits, but you're doing it with empty bases and you're doing it with 2 outs.
Adams pumps in a strike to start the 4th time through this Marian order. And this BU starter, the first teamer, still out there and going. Now he misses down and out. Radaman so far 1 for 3, a fly out, a pop out, and a base hit in that 4th inning. He was stranded. Radaman ahead 2-1. Now 3-1. Not sure what's up there with Adams. Went to go grab at his calf after releasing that breaking ball that fell short of home plate. Not liking the ball. Not sure if he's getting a good grip on it. I think that was the attempt there. Went to go wipe his hand off on his pants and then said, I'm just going to take this ball away. Get a new one, but it doesn't matter. It's a 5-pitch walk. The leadoff hitter Radaman is aboard, and here comes Robbie Knorr, who has singled in each of his last 2 ABs.
That's kind of been the issue with the Sabres offense so far is, again, it's really only those top 3, Radaman, Knorr, and Bornick, who are producing. And while they have 5 hits amongst them, as well as now a walk with Radaman, they're all singles. Right? They're not really pushing them along the base paths other than just 1 base at a time. And so by the time you get past those top 3, you start with Ryan Nelson on down, there's just been a lack of production there. So while they're getting hits from those top 3, they haven't gotten a big hit.
And that continues here. Knorr has his 3rd hit of the game in just the 6th inning. He continues to work the ball to the pull side. And with 2 outs, the tying runs are on base here for Bornick.
Well, see if Bornick can break the streak of singles. Again, you love to see your top 3 produce. as that is now 6 hits between Radaman, Nor, and Bornick. 5 of them between Nor and Bornick. Bornick's got 2 himself.
It's 2 for 3, and now he laces one right field. Base hit falling in front of Campbell. Radaman scores easily. Going first to third is Nor. And Marian right back in this ball game.
And hey, it was another single, but it's a single that works. Well placed all the way out in right field. Right, able to get Radaman to score. Now Marian's really going to need something out of their DH. Ryan Nelson 0 for 3. Pair of groundouts to short and then a fly out to right. As
looking like this could be all here for Adams. I haven't seen a signal to the bullpen just yet.
It's kind of hard to tell from our point of view because of the fence. Looks like there's motion. I can't really tell if anyone's actually throwing or not. I don't believe anyone's actually out there throwing some pitches. So
this is the head coach, Adam Smith, out there.
Might just be a little check-in as well as a chance to give your bullpen some time to get going in case this inning continues to go south with 2 outs up on the board. But you also got an 0-3 Ryan Nelson up, and then you have a 1 for 3 Jacob Clayman up next. So, again, 3rd out. I've said it before, and I'll say it again here. You just need an out. Doesn't matter what. There are no productive outs when there's already 2 up on the board. I'm going to guess that Adams, who's now at 101 on the pitch count, likely going to be his last inning for sure. This might be his last batter, too. It's just going to be, is that the last batter of the inning, or are you going to need a turn of the pen? As I'm sure Ben Hughes getting those bullpen arms going fast.
Corners are filled in a 1-run game, and a nice stop there. Butler not going to throw down as Bornick will now just jog over to second. He wanted to draw the throw.
Yeah, I say smart play there by Butler behind the plate. If you throw that, Marian's likely going to try and score. I don't know if it would be successful or not, but at least to limit that. Again, you got 2 outs. You just need one good pitch here.
It's now 3-0, and Nelson the 4-hitter.
So that seems hard to find right now for JT Adams, as well over 100 pitches at this point. Gets rid of the ball again. Getting a little bit more picky with it as this inning's gone on.
A lot of pitches. A big jam here in the 6th inning. 2 runs have crossed here for Marian. They've pulled within 1 with the tying run at 3rd. Go-ahead run at 2nd. And a pitch that goes right down Main Street. Here to Ryan Nelson with Jacob Clayman, who's already driven in a run. He's in the on-deck circle. You wonder if this is the last batter Adams faces. 3-1, ball 4. Bases loaded here for Marian.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to I don't think they can go to the bullpen right away. You can see some heads poking out, looking down there. I just don't think anyone's ready yet. I'm seeing guys throw now, and so that means they just started with that last batter. As someone's running down there, probably asking how ready they are / telling them we need to get ready.
Wow, 1-0. I'm not sure if that was a pitch clock violation, but
the umps were signaling they were grabbing their wrist, so maybe that's their sign for the watch, which would be pitch time. Maybe there's another violation that we didn't pick up on by Adams, but
he's in some trouble here
because of that 2-0, and I have to imagine this is going to be his last batter. Might be a rush job out of the bullpen, but at this rate, you got to stop the bleeding.
Clayman on a 2-0. Now a 3-0. A ball away from tying this game. A Marian team that trailed by 3 entering this 6th inning. And Adams struggling to get through this 6th inning. 3-0 is a strike over the plate. He absolutely needed to find the zone, and he does. With Nor at 3rd, Bornick at 2nd, Nelson at 1st. 4-3, the 4 seed, Benedictine over the 5 seed Marian. Swinging a line drive foul down the right field line. Clayman was well ahead of it. And here is your situation. Bases loaded. 2 outs. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The merry-go-round in motion. As Jacob Clayman gonna look to deliver a game-tying, potential go-ahead knock. Swings, ground ball into right field. Nor will score, so will Bornick. Big swing Clayman. He's driven in 3 and Marian leads.
Yeah, tough break there for Adams. That ball squeaked by 2 defenders. You had Juicy at second, as well as the one who was really close was Fisher at first, as, like we said, that's likely it, and it will be it for JT Adams. Head coach of Benedictine, Adam Smith, coming out, grabbing the ball.
So we'll step aside here as we have a pitching change here in the top of the 6th inning. The game has been completely flipped. Bringing you back here in the top of the 6th inning as Benedictine has to move on from Adams. It's now Stephen Byrne, the 6'2 junior. Comes up. Got to get one more out here to complete the 6th inning. It's the 9th hitter of the inning. Dylan Peace coming up to the plate with the corners filled up. Runner goes on one that misses outside. On over to second goes Clayman. He drove in the tying and go-ahead run. This has now been a 4-run 6th inning. It's Byrne, the tall righty, looking to just get out of this right here. There's a strike. Backdoor 1-1.
Byrne coming into this situation, 26 innings flat across this season, 4.15 ERA, 17 appearances, a 3-3 record. Started 1 game. Other than that, it's been a bullpen arm for Coach Smith and his Eagles. 26 strikeouts against 15 walks. And he's 1 pitch away from getting another one here, getting out of this inning too.
Ball and a strike. Peace takes it downstairs. That's a heck of a block. Butler able to stay in front of him. Account should be 2-2 now. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, and for JT Adams, we'll get his final stat line here after this inning. Those runners at second and third, those are his runners, but kind of a tough break. You feel like maybe if they'd gotten an arm going up earlier, wouldn't have such a bad draw.
Sharply head out to short, Fell fields it on a hop and throws Peace out. So Byrne comes in, gets the final out of the inning. but Marian has taken control. They now lead 5-4. Bottom of the 6th inning coming your way here on the Cougar Sports Network. Pitching change here. Jackson Spetcher coming in to pitch here for Marian. Now with the lead, and Griesbach, who made it through 5, is in line for the win. It's his final line. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 were earned, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. And for Adams, who now leaves in line for the loss, 5 2/3 with 10 hits. All 5 runs were earned, 4 walks, and a strikeout. Is that what you were expecting? Adams to leave in line for the loss after the way he pitched for those first 4 innings.
I mean, the runs, he only allowed 1 run going into the top of the 6. But you could kind of tell just from his pitch count, which was elevated most of the game, that maybe the scoreboard was lying a little bit about his performance. I'm not trying to take anything away he did through those first 5 innings. He was good, right? He kept them to 1 run, but you could kind of tell Marian was so close to breaking through with him, and they finally did. The other thing about Adams is, and this isn't on him, maybe more on the coaching staff, about getting an arm up a little earlier in the bullpen. You think, all right, maybe you bring Byrne in before before Klayman's at bat, the 2 RBI single. Is that put Adams in the loss column still? So,
well, the offense will look to back their guy up, their ace all year in Adams.
First team all-conference member 2, but as for Marian, however, they're going to be turning to Jackson Spetcher now.
He deals one up and in here to Juicy Jr. leading off the 6th inning.
Struggling a little bit to Juicy, but 3.65 ERA for Spetcher across 8 appearances, 12 innings and a third. So not a ton of experience coming into this game, but Coach Badinger turns to him, says, hey, we just got the lead. You got a good offense at the plate. Just keep us where we are. Maybe we can add on the next couple innings, see if the floodgates stay open.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Juicy Jr. will walk on a ball that was overthrown, and to the backstop it goes from Spetcher. So both teams now in their bullpens as we are in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Juicy Jr.'s day is going to come to an end. They're going to pinch run for him. They are going to Matt Santorelli.
And Santorelli coming in a pinch run. He is listed as an infielder, so probably a good chance that we see him stay in the game after this pinch run. Maybe can't say for certain the position.
Well, he's going, and he's stealing second. In the game, and a quick stolen bag, and he's immediately in scoring position as the tying run.
Took a shot to the head on that one, too, as that was the glove of Marian's second baseman, Pease. Kind of hit him on the head as he slid in. Helmet knocked off. He looks no worse for wear, though. Was a strike to Nooneman, so 0-1 count now for Spetcher. But, yeah, we'll have to see where Santorelli ends up. If he is just truly a pinch runner or maybe he just replaces Juicy at second.
He's the tying run. Noneman takes it downstairs. First pitch was a strike. So now a 1-1 count. It's Noneman 0 for 2 so far today. A ground out and a looking strikeout. Sure he's glad to move on from Griesbach. Spetcher comes home and delivers a ball inside. So the 7-hitter, Noneman, head of the count here, 2-1.
Yeah, and as for Griesbach, we went over his stat line, but again, you take out that third inning where he let up 4 runs. It was a pretty nice outing from Griesbach. Only 78 total pitches by the time he left the mound.
2-1, wave and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Griesbach leaving in line for the win. Adams in line for the loss as both teams move on from their starters at practically the same exact points.
Yeah. Would have been interesting to see if Griesbach stayed in the game if Marian didn't tie it or take the lead like they did. But
it's downstairs, 3-2.
Coach Badinger knows he's got the lead now. It's like Griesbach off the hook. Turn it over to my bullpen for these last 4 innings of play.
Still nobody out. 3-2. Noneman takes strike 3. Spetcher in the game, and he picks up a big first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Only the 3rd strikeout by Marian pitching here in this one.
Yeah, that's something Ben Yu's been able to avoid all game is the strikeout. Drawn quite a number of walks out of Griesbach, 4 to be exact, as now we're going to have a mound visit. And that's going to be it.
Yeah, they're moving on from Spetcher here. Walks the batter, strikes another out, and to the bullpen we go.
Interesting.
So Martinez enters the game. It's Michael Martinez. 5'8", right-handed pitcher, a senior. Hometown of Utah, coming into pitch here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Tying run at second base. Butler is the hitter, and the righty comes home to him. Delivers a strike.
Yeah, and kind of funny trend here with Marian's pitchers this game. Their ERA just gets better as they just move up in the ERA leaderboard. Griesbach is 3.76. Right above him was Spetcher with 3.65.
Butler, pop fly, shallow left center. It's the shortstop, Knorr, who goes out and reels it in for a big second out.
And then right above Spetcher is Martinez at 341. So they just keep climbing the leaderboard in terms of who they are using. The only two pitchers for Marian who have a better ERA than Michael Martinez, Jackson Robertson, only one appearance, 1 inning, and then Sean Severson, 2 appearances, 6 innings. So if you're looking at guys who've actually put in a adequate amount of work, Martinez leads the pack.
Well, Martinez gets another pop-up. Shallow center. Walker comes on and ends the inning, and Benedictine strands the tying run in scoring position. On to the final third of this ball game, with number 5, Marian, leading.
Do it.
7th inning, 1-run game. Second game of this double elimination tournament. Saw the 6th seed, Edgewood, get the win over CUC earlier this morning. Now Marian leading number 4, Benedictine, looking for another upset. First one downstairs. Byrne remains on the mound, and it's Kiska, Jones, and Walker here due up for Marian. Kiska fresh off a solo blast in his last AB.
Yeah.
He sparked that long inning as Kiska hit his 2nd home run of the year.
And no better time to do it.
It's another one sharply on the ground. Fielded on the backhand. Castro Lavari, a long throw. He's got time, and he makes a nice play for the first out.
But the interesting about that top of the 6th from Marian is, you're right, Kiska, you know, you could say he sparked it. He got the home run in the leadoff spot. But the next 2 batters, Jones, who's at the plate now, and Walker, they were out. They were ground outs to short and second, respectively. It was after that that everything got going. A walk, a single, another walk, another single. And that's how Marian took the lead. So, yeah, Kiska kind of weird. You hit the leadoff homer, you get 2 outs, and then everything else comes through for Marian. But at this rate, they'll take what they can get when they can get it. Because up to that point, that offense was struggling to put some stuff on the board.
Fly ball left field, not very deep off the bat at Jones. Not him in. Sizing it up for the second out. And 2 quick outs here in the top of the 7th. BU trailing a run, left the tying run in scoring position in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Byrne just looking to get the offense back up and swinging. BU will bring 1, 2, 3 to the plate in the home half. Walker 0 for 2, a walk, fly out, and a ground out. Showing bunt, not going to offer at it. It's a strike.
Yeah, not a bad idea to pull back there from Walker. That pitch kind of inside. Still clip the zone, obviously, for the strike, but probably wouldn't have been the best of bunts, especially when you're trying to catch the defense off guard.
He's behind 0-2. Byrne a pitch away from a 1-2-3 lightning quick 7th inning. There's only been one other 1-2-3 inning on behalf of Benedictine in this game. It came in the 5th inning when Nelson, Clayman, and Peace were retired in order. And Walker able to lay off an off-speed downstairs.
Yeah, try and get the bats up quick here. Keep them in a rhythm.
1-2. Popped up, left side. That one drifting out of play. Marian actually out-hitting Benedictine 10-5 with the slim 5-4 lead. Marian has left 10 on base. Benedictine has left 5 on base. So the exact same numbers as their hit totals. 1-2, pop foul again off to the left side. Nonaman giving chase, sliding against that fence, but the ball drops along the warning track. Long way to go for him. He doesn't get there, and he'll have to hit the reset button on a 1-2.
Yeah, you're talking about the hit total, the left on base, and that's why even when this was a 4-1 game and both teams put up scoreless innings right after it was a 4-1 game, you kind of felt like it's nowhere near close to being over. Marian was scratching all game. They were so close all game to getting to Adams, and all it took was one good inning, the top of the 6th. They finally got to him. And once he crossed that century mark in the pitch count, ended up with 112. It was a disastrous 2-out performance in that top of the 6th.
2-2 goes to the left side again. And once again, another foul ball. 5-4 your score, a 1-run game. Here in the second game of 4 today at Raider Stadium.
Yeah, now that we're really in the bullpen here, you got to remember, whoever wins this game, they got to play again later.
Up and out, 3-2.
Winner takes on not just anyone, the number 1 seed, MSOE, at 7 p.m. Game 4, our final game of today's slate. Loser, they'll be playing Concordia Chicago tomorrow at 10 a.m., that early morning game.
Payoff. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Beautiful change up there from Byrne. It's a 1-2-3 7th inning. Time to stretch in a 1-run game. Top of the order coming up for BU. Bottom of the 7th inning in a 5-4 game. Mentioned the top of the order is coming up. Matevis, Fisher, and Campbell for BU. Trailing a run, plenty of baseball to go, 9 outs to work with for the Eagles. Matevis, 2 for 3 so far, and he lays off the first one outside. First look here at Martinez for the top of the orders. Benedictine rolling into play with 5 straight wins to end their regular season. Tevez, big cut at it, swinging through his shoes, and it's 1-1.
And just to put it out there with Martinez closing last inning, Spetcher's stat line was officially closed. A third, a walk, a strike, and that was it. Still kind of interested to see what the strategy behind Spetcher was and why they pulled him. Were they not liking what they're seeing, or was it just a matchups thing? both righties, Spetcher and Martinez, so it's not a righty-lefty split. But either way, Marian throwing their ERA leader, at least amongst pitchers who have more than two appearances this year.
Hitters count, but Tevez goes the other way and slashes it into right field. Leadoff runner aboard, tying run at first here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, just like it never really felt like Marian was out of it because of how close they were leading up into that big top of the 6th. You know, Benedictine's never out of it either, just because of how potent their offense has been this year. 353 runs scored coming into today, most of any team in the Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference. This is a team who can put up some runs. They've put up some runs today. They just haven't done it in 3 innings now.
Fisher leaves the first one outside. The 2-hitter, 1 for 3 here in the ball game. Went 4 for 11 in the 2 games against Marian in the regular season. He's the go-ahead run standing at home plate. And he takes it off speed for a strike.
Some action in the bullpens. No one throwing, but a couple guys up and moving. Yeah, this bullpen game now, but coaches do have to be strategic. One of them will play again in roughly 4 hours. Take on number 1 MSOE, and then whoever loses this game, they're going to be playing in less than 24 hours in the first elimination game tomorrow against CUC, 10 a.m.
Fisher ahead of the count here. Martinez has primarily been used just out of the bullpen. Only 5 times has he gone more than 2 innings. Fisher gets the barrel on a baseball and sends it down the right field line. But Tevez on his high horse. Here he comes. The game is tied. Fisher pulls into second with a game-tying RBI double.
Yeah, I don't think you could get any better piece of hitting than we saw right there other than a home run, right? Beautiful lace right down the right field line, sent all the way into the corner of foul territory. That is about as picture perfect as you can get. Score a runner from first, and still no outs, runner at second now. As again, we're all evened up at 5. Adams won't get the loss. Griesbach won't get the win. Whole new ball game here with 2.5 innings to play.
Here's Campbell. Marian expecting a bunt. Campbell looking to swing. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Outside portion of the zone, and it's 0-1. It's a big swing by Brennan Fisher. It's a new ball game here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Check swing. Did he go? He did not, says Sean Philbin. Campbell, the 3-hitter, still looking for his first hit of the game. 0 for 2 here in the ball game. Does have an RBI on a bases-loaded walk in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, Campbell, all-conference honorable mention, too. He's a good hitter. Hasn't found his stroke yet today, but don't want to let him. Don't want to give him that chance.
Two balls and a strike. Fisher leads off of second. Breaking ball is inside, and it's 3-1. It's a good idea there for Martinez. That ball looks like a strike the whole way until it splits out of the zone. 3-1 your count. 5-5. Swinging a softly hit, pop up, dropping into right. Fisher gonna get the stop sign at third. He had to sit there in the middle of the base path and wait to see if that ball was gonna fall or not. But it does. The corners are filled. And the table is set here for Benedictine.
Yeah, it's one of the toughest plays to make if you're Dylan Peace. You're running out, trying to look behind you, look up. Ball's over your shoulder, trying to make that over-the-shoulder grab. That is never an easy play when the infielder has to run out. constantly be looking up and over. And because of it, Bennu, runners at the corners now, still no outs. Could be a very big inning.
First one to Castro Villari. Breaking ball slapped into center field. Walker gonna lean down and make the catch. Tagging at third is Fisher, and BU has the lead right back. Sacrifice fly, Nick Castro Villari.
Yeah, kind of a weird path to get there from Walker. Started one way, and like you said, Ethan, he had to lean back and down to make the grab. If it's a little cleaner of approach, not that that was an easy ball to get to, but if that was a little cleaner of approach, might have been able to crow hop into a throw and at least keep Fisher at third.
Runner goes, Bedoric swings, hits one towards second, sliding, knocking it down his piece. He cannot recover. First and second now with one out on the error from Peace over at second.
Peace did his job getting in front of it, right? The ball didn't get past him, but just could not leather the ball. Tough break there as this inning just keeps going for Benny. One out still on the board. Try and add on to this one-run lead.
Santarelli, first AB here in this game. Came into pinch run for Tommy Juicy Jr. in the sixth inning. Stole a base as well, and Santarelli, just his 8th appearance of the year.
Yeah, stood it.
Showing bunt, pulling back on ball one.
As we thought stayed in the game to play at second in replace of Juicy, who he pinch ran for. See what he can do first time at the plate. Has a chance here for a big first at bat.
Trying to get a bunt down, but he skies it. Martinez coming on. The catcher, Kizka, makes a simple two-handed catch. And the second out is gifted to Marian. It's a big one, and here comes Nonaman with 2 outs.
Yeah, it's the last thing you want to see if you're a coach on a bunt attempt is just pop it up, right? Get it on the ground, make the defense make a play, and advance the base runners. You do that, relatively simple grab for Kizka once he locates the ball, and base runners, they can't go anywhere.
Nonaman early on the first one. 0-1.
Yeah, he wanted that one.
Struck out looking in each of his last 2 ABs. But his first AB here against Martinez. Nonaman checks his swing on a breaking ball. He did go, says Mike Slowinski, and it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th, already 2 home here for BU. They now lead. 0-2. Little jam shot center field. That ball's going to dump in, base hit. Walker comes up throwing. Campbell scores. 7-5 Benedictine. It's a 3-run inning.
Yeah, just smart base hitting here, right? Nothing too extravagant. I mean, we saw Nooneman kind of went for the home run ball on that first swing and miss and then settles in. Like you said, a little jam shot, dead center. That's all you need. Good base running, too, to come all the way home and score. And Benny just keeps chipping away at Martinez, adding on to this lead now.
First one outside to Butler. It's just been big innings. It was 1 in the bottom of the 3rd that brought home 4 for BU as Butler is late on it to even the count. Took a 4-1 lead thanks to a 4 spot in the 3rd. Marian. Took him a while to answer, but they did in the top of the 6th with 4 of their own. And now BU has taken the lead in the bottom of the 7th with 3 at least. And Bedoric at second. Nonaman at first.
Someone's starting to throw down in the Marian bullpen. I believe this is Martinez's last inning as he's getting hit around here.
3-1.
Granted, inning should be over. The error that Bedoric reached on for Peace. Would have been the third out. So anything from here on out, including that RBI we just saw, unearned.
Butler's late on an elevated fastball on 3-1. Took a big cut at it ahead of the count, but now it's full. So Bedoric off of second, Noneman off of first. They'll be off to the races. And Martinez will take a disengagement here. The long-awaited 3-2 is coming home to Butler. He stays alive. Another 3-2. Butler fouls it off yet again. Just a good fight here from Kevin Butler in the 8-hole for BU.
Yeah, making sure there's no chance Martinez comes back after this inning, getting that pitch count up.
But he eventually strikes out. Martinez goes to the gas and ends the 7th inning. We're on to the 8th. BU scores 3 and takes a 7-5 lead. Entering the 8th inning, and now a BU 7-5 lead over Marian. Tides have turned over and over. What can we expect for these final 2?
Well, bullpen games, you never really know. As we saw with Martinez, he comes in the bottom of 6, looks really sharp through 2/3, and then kind of falls apart in the 7th. So you never really know what you're getting with bullpen arms in the world of college baseball. And I wouldn't be entirely shocked to see a couple more runs on the board from either of these two squads. Benedictine clearly feeling it after their 3-run 7th. Try to add some insurance in the bottom of the 8th. Meanwhile, Marian, they're fighting for their first, double elimination game lives here. They don't want to end up facing Concordia Chicago tomorrow in the first game at 10 a.m., right? You don't want that early game at all. That you got to wake up early, show up. It's still a little chilly in the morning, especially when you're warming up. You want one of those nice afternoon slots and a chance to play again tonight.
It's the top of the order with Radaman leading things off. That one's spiked down in the turf. 58-foot breaking ball for the first ball, 1-0. 1-2, I beg your pardon. Now, BU does not have a traditional closer. They have 8 total saves this year, scattered across 5 different pitchers. Byrne is one of them with 2. This one goes the other way. Base hit Radaman. And immediately, Marian will bring the tying run to the plate with Robbie Knorr coming up.
Yeah, this is the time to do the damage, right? Your top three, Radaman, Knorr, Bornick. Outside of Clayman, they are the best. They've been the best hitters in this game. They've been the most impactful hitters in the game, I should say, for Marian. So do something now. You got no outs. You have your top three up, and now one of them is going to be in scoring position.
How far will he go? To second, now to third. Radaman, 90 feet away from the sixth run after a wild pitch that Butler just could not find.
Again, there's that backstop. We've been talking about it all day between this game and the first game between CUC and Edgewood. Right? That ball gets all the way back. Not only do you have to go a long distance, you have to track it down too. Who knows where it bounces? And yeah, your whole team might be yelling at you, but I can tell you in any sport, when the whole team's yelling at you, sometimes it's a little discombobulating.
Norris singled in each of his last 3 ABs. Now moves out of the way of a 2-1. Struck out in his first at-bat back in the first inning. But nothing but line drive since. Knorr chops one to short. It'll bring home a run. As Fell plays the long hop. His throw is high, but sticking on the base is Fisher. It's now a 7-6 ball game.
I think Fisher actually came back down in time. Look at the first base umpire, Mike Slewinski. He made a little up and down signal with his hand to show, yeah, he was off the bag, but he got back just in time for the out, but a productive out at that. Knorr able to bring home run at number 6, and hey, one swing of the bat. We got a tied game again.
Bornick gets a bunt down left side, and it spins foul. Butler crept up on it and waited for the moment that it broke left of the third base line. Then touched it wisely, so now it's 0-1 here with 1 out. Bornick also has 3 hits here in the ball game.
Well, I mentioned one swing of the bat could tie it, but for Marian, not a home run team whatsoever. 13 on the year. That is tied for dead last, along with Lakeland, who did not even make the postseason tournament.
Bornick a line drive into right, but a running Campbell tracks it down for the second out.
Yeah, 13 home runs on the year for Marian. You want to compare that to one Eagle, George Batevis, 14. So he has single-handedly out-hit this Marian team in terms of home runs coming in today, but Marian already does have one in this game with Kisga, number 14 on the season. So never say never, especially in postseason baseball.
And ironically enough, Marian has the only home run so far today.
Yeah, no long ball.
I think with the power that we have seen so far, the powerful approach of Benedictine, the powerful approach of CUC, you figured one of those guys would go yard, but it's Marian, it's Kiska, who had 1 home run all season, come up and smack one over the left field fence back in this 6th inning. And you mentioned postseason play, weird things happen. Castro Valari throws out Nelson. Bottom of the 8th, I beg your pardon, coming up in a 1-run game. 7-6 your score. Last chance for BU to add on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 9-1-2. Zach Fell, George Patevis, and Brennan Fisher due up here for the Eagles. They lead by 1. Martinez is still in the game here for Marian. And a first pitch slider is off the plate, 1-0.
Yeah, a little surprised to see Martinez back. It looked like he was just about done at the end of last inning. I got touched up for 3 runs. Marian had someone going in the bullpen, but maybe it'd be a different story if this was a tied game or Marian took the lead. But Martinez just trying to keep that deficit at 1, heading into the top of the 9th, where Marian will be down to their final 3 outs.
Counts 1-2 here to the 9-hitter Fell. That one's off the plate. 2-2. Fell 0 for 2 in the game. Couple flyouts. Walked and scored in the 3rd. Breaking ball line, left center field. Base hit for the 9-hitter Fell. Big turnaround first, but it'll hold up there. And a nice start for BU here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
See how long they let Martinez keep going. Again, got out of last inning with the strikeout of Butler, but still gave up those 3 runs, one of which was unearned due to the fielding error by Peace at second.
Tevis takes it above the zone, and it's 1-0. Nice day for Batevis. 3 hits on 4 tries. The big, powerful righty. We'll have to wait for his second pitch of his at-bat. But you're going to be 3 outs away. We'll see if they change arms. Byrne. It's held over 2 1/3. That one's inside. So because he entered in the 6th inning, he's not in any sort of safe situation, but he is in line for the win as Adams left in line for the loss after 5 2/3. Tevis fouls off a 2-0 breaking ball, 2-1. But Byrne has been incredible. Just a hit allowed. 1 run, but it was unearned. Hasn't walked anybody and has struck out 1. We'll see if they send Byrne out. Could depend on the damage or if there's any damage this team does. But Tevez line drive to center. The runner went. The out is there. Walker throwing behind the runner. Got him! A throw on the money from center field. 2 outs, nobody on.
Yeah, Fell getting caught in no man's land. He really thought that one was going to drop. But instead, couldn't get back in time. It was a close play. I could have seen it going either way. As you can see, the Ben Yu first base coach talking to the umpire. Friendly, maybe just trying to ask what he saw on that call that led to the out call. But great play there by Walker. Took a hop or 2 to get into the glove of Bornick, but like you said, throw on line, got there just in time.
Fisher had the big hit for BU in that 7th inning. It was an RBI double to tie the game. Come around and score the go-ahead run. Now Fisher grounds one right back to Martinez. We head to the 9th in a 1-run game. Clayman, he's been the big hitter for Marian all day. He's driven in 3, and he is due up to start the 9th. Byrne on the mound, looking for 3 more outs and a win. And a date with MSOE tonight. First one downstairs to Jacob Clayman. Tying run at the plate. Clayman, Peace Kizka in a 7-6 game. Doesn't get any better than this. A 1-run game in the final inning. Postseason baseball. Game 2 of the double elimination tournament here in the NACC. 2-0. Clayman. Now 3-0. Here we go.
So you only need 1 run. Just get on base. Right, some nifty base running. 1 run isn't anything, especially now you're going up against a reliever who's getting pretty deep into his outing here.
Byrne's been excellent. As he finds the zone here on 3-0 to make it 3-1. He's now tossed 36 pitches across 2 1/3. Hitters count. Clayman takes ball 4. Tying run is aboard here for Marian.
Yeah. Clayman, an outfielder. Those guys are usually pretty speedy. And that's going to be it for Byrne.
Going to the bullpen. Save opportunity for the next BU arm. Seven 6 your score. 9th inning. Tying run at first. Go-ahead run at the plate. And Austin Pizer, he saved 2 games this year. 2 of the 8 BU has recorded here in the 2025 campaign. And he needs 3 outs to secure a save here in the postseason. The righty comes home to peace and misses low. Pizer, a 4.25 earned run average, a senior from Highland, Indiana. He's pitched 29 2/3 this season. He's showing bunt, not going to offer at it. It's a strike as Pizer finds the zone. 1-1 with Clayman at first base.
Yeah, Byrne in line for the win. 2 1/3, a hit, walk, and a strikeout. But Clayman is his runner.
Pizer comes and gets it off the mound. Throw gets the first in time to retire Peace. But the tying run is now in scoring position. Clayman standing over there after the sac bunt.
See what Kizka does, but between Jones, who is out there on the on-deck circle, and then Gus Walker, no hits between those two. A pair of walks, however, 1 apiece. See if Coach Badinger maybe goes to the bench, but we'll have to see what Kizka does here. I think it's largely dependent on that.
Kiska has already ran into one today. Hit a towering solo home run in the 6th inning. He's in a 2-0 count right now. Looking to pick one out. Kiska goes the other way, right field. It's in the air. Campbell lining it up. 2 outs. Marian down to their final out of the ball game.
Yep, they're going to let Mark Jones hit, too. Jones walk, pair of flyouts, and a ground out. As he represents Marian's last chance. Coach Smith now coming out to have a chat with Pizzer.
Yeah, just a conversation before facing Mark Jones. He's 0 for 3 in the game, couple flyouts, been on base just once after a walk in the 2nd inning. All he needs is a base knock. Give the chance of tying this game. Clayman at second, hoping to scamper home and extend this baseball game. Heiser looking for the save. First one right down Main Street, and it's 0-1. No balls and a strike. Chopper over the mound. Fell the shortstop. Can't get it. It goes into center. Clayman coming to the plate. Safe. Jones to second. We're all tied.
That's all you needed. A little base hit up the middle. Slow bouncer. Took a while to get out to Patevis. That's going to be a blown save for Pizer. All evened up at 7 now. But Marian not done just yet. Another base knock here could give them the lead.
What a moment for the 8-hitter Jones. Now it's Walker who takes a first pitch strike. Just banged it back up the middle. Clayman, who's been the catalyst all game for Marian, came around and scored. It was a good throw in from Batevez in center field. Just late. And this game will see at least the bottom of the 9th. Walker slaps one. Base hit left center. Towards the gap it goes. Jones will score. Marian finds lightning in the bottle in the 9th inning, and they lead 8-7.
What a time for the bottom of this lineup to come alive. Again, it's been the issue all game long is once you get past those top 3 and then Clayman in the 5-hole, not much production out of this Marian lineup today, but when they need it most, the 8 and the 9-hole hitters, they come through. A pair of RBI singles gives Marian the lead. And now you're at the top of the lineup, which has been so dangerous today. A runner at first, 2 outs. So you got to be careful, but Marian might have a little something going here.
Trailing 1 going into the 9th. 2 have crossed. 2 2-out hits. Jones tied the game with a base hit up the middle. Got to second on the throw-in from center. And then Gus Walker drove him in. A seesaw battle here in the 2nd game of the day. And Rodman swings and misses. Hanging breaking ball, but an off-balance cut there. I mean, what a ball game. The script just has been flipped over and over again.
Yeah, you wanted entertainment in this NACC tournament so far. Yesterday, Marian a 2-0 win thanks to a 9-inning shutout from Alstein. Then you had a walk-off from Edgewood. And then we saw a 9-inning complete game earlier today, and now this one.
This could be trouble, but it drops foul. Right along that right field line from Radaman. Was Walker at first. Counts 2 balls and 2 strikes. So now the attention shifts to Benedictine. 3, 4, and 5 due up. Campbell, Castro Villari, and Bedoric coming up for the Eagles, who now it's them who have their backs against the wall. A back and forth thriller. And oh boy, somehow Walker gets back in safely. He got caught leaning on an excellent move from Pizer.
Yeah, that was close over at first base.
He looked dead to right. Not sure how he got back in, but he did.
Just got under it. Tag was right on his numbers. As there they go again. A little better tag, but Walker on alert now. You put that tag on the first pickoff attempt, Walker's likely out.
Runner goes on a 2-2. It's ball 3. Throw down. It's a good one. They got him. Butler throws Walker out. To the bottom of the 9th we go as Marian drops 2 to take the lead. What a game. Benedictine, Marian, who wants it more? 3, 4, and 5 coming up. This game just continues to take dramatic turn after another.
Yeah.
This one's been a treat.
I mean, like I said, no shortage of entertainment here in the NACC tourney, including today's game. These two offenses coming alive when they need to.
Campbell, fly ball, center field routine for Walker for the first out.
And again, they're throwing Martinez out there. I thought he was going to be done after he gave up that 3 in the 7th. Came out through a 1-2-3 8th, and he's got Coach Badinger's trust right now. He's in line for the win. Kind of funny how that works. He was in line for the loss after that 3-run 7th. And because of his offense, as well as a clean inning from him in the next inning, he could end up in the W column here with just 2 more outs.
Castro Velarde. 2 for 2 in this game. A walk, a sac fly. It's driven in 3. 3 of the 7 Benedictine runs. Slashes 1 right field, foul ball. And now it's 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Here it comes. And Martinez overthrows 2-2.
Not the worst. You got a little room to work with, up 1-2 in the count. Now you're evened up. You still have one more pitch before full count, and there it is.
Can BU bring the tying run to the base path? This is one of the bigger pitches of the game right now. Who will grab the momentum? Taken outside, ball 4. Tying run is aboard for the Eagles.
Yeah, and Martinez not happy with that call. You could see the frustration in his face as kind of went down into a crouch for a bit too. Maybe between the missed call and just maybe missing his zone. One of them or the combination of both.
Bedoric's the winning run. Sitting in the bullpen for Marian.
Yeah, and somebody just ran in from the bullpen too to the dugout.
Move might be coming.
Don't know if they were sitting him down or like you just said, might be ready to go in if this batter doesn't go well for Martinez.
2 outs away from a win. Potentially a ground ball could end this game. Bedorek takes it low and below the knees. You know that's the intent there with Martinez working down to the lefty here. Everything's been off speed. 2 balls and a strike in an 8-7 game. Bedorek takes a mighty hack at it. Foul tip into the glove of Kiska, 2-2.
Wanted to win the game right there. Got to make contact with the ball, though.
Got to cut the swing down here with 2 strikes. Martinez comes set, kicks and fires a 2-2. And Bedorek somehow stays alive, just threw the bat at that pitch.
Yeah, might have missed for a ball, but he was going and, like you said, just got in front of it to get a piece, stay alive.
Castrovillari, the tying run at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Downstairs, 3-2.
Good block there by Kiska. Looked like it was destined to go 5-hole, able to drop down, get in front of it. Kiska's had a nice game behind the plate. It's a nice game at the plate, too, with that home run. Back in the 6th inning.
Big pitch, a 3-2. Ball 4. Tying and winning runs are aboard here for Benedictine.
And
after a few walks, gotta think that's all for Martinez.
we'll have a pinch run or 2 as Martinez likely done. Heading over to first base is Will Strail. So he'll run for Bedorek, the DH. And this might just be a mound visit. As you would know by now if they're pulling him. They're not. They're going to let him go. Excuse me, pinch running for the Eagles is Hank Friedrich.
They're sticking with Martinez. Trusting their righty. Hoping that he can bring them home.
And a pinch hitter here now. It will not be Santorelli. Instead, it will be Wardenberg.
Wardenberg is the tying run at second. Friedrich's the winning run at first. An 0-1. Wave and a miss. 0-2. Marian a strike away from an improbable comeback win. Scored 2 in the top of the 9th to tie and take the lead. Now a strike away from a win. Outside.
They wanted it. Could hear a couple Marian fans in the crowd. They thought that was it. Just missed that outside edge.
Nonaman drove in a run in the 7th. He's 1 for 4. Looking for the biggest swing of the season. But he swings and misses. Strike 3. Martinez hangs on. And Marian with an 8-7 thrilling win. They'll stick around and take on the top dogs tonight. What an incredible baseball game. 8-7 your final as the 5 seed takes down the 4 seed. What a treat that was.
Yeah, I mean, you thought we had a gem in game 1 today, getting to watch a stellar pitching performance out of Shoemaker, and then this game comes along and says, hold my drink, I got another banger for you. 8-7 win for Marian. You know, if you came in, you said, hey, this was going to be a high-scoring affair, I really would have thought that it would have been Ben Yu coming out on top just because of how potent their offense is. But instead, it was Marian. I mean, you want to talk about grit? Marian had a ton of it. You get punched in the mouth in the 3rd, right? You take the lead, then all of a sudden Ben Yu comes out 4-run inning. Right, then you take the lead later with your own 4-run inning. Benyu strikes back with a 3-run inning, take a multi-run lead, and instead Marian just keeps on pushing through, gets 3 runs in the final 2 innings. And how about Michael Martinez, right? We thought he was going to be done after that 3-run seventh. He was looking shaky, gave up the 3 runs, gave up the lead, was in line for the loss. Instead, he powers through, throws a scoreless 8th and 9th to earn the win. And just such an impressive performance from Marian. That's one of those postseason teams you really don't want to see, right? They're gritty. They're going to fight. Maybe their stats offensively aren't super eye-popping, but they're just going to keep fighting. They're going to keep scraping at you. They come away with a big win. They're going to have a chance to take on #1 MSOE here later tonight.
Going to be a fun one. This is a hot team in Marian right now, as resilient and as gritty as it gets. Your final box score, Marian wins with 8 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors. Benedictine, 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Benedictine will take on CUC tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in our first elimination game of the weekend. So first pitch between Edgewood and Aurora coming up at 4:20 Central Time on the dot. But we are going to have a post-game interview with Jacob Clayman. He's coming up to the booth, and he's coming up right now, so we'll step aside. Welcome to the post-game show here with Jacob Clayman after a thrilling 8-7 victory. Jacob, what a game that was. What was it like being a part of a game that just went back and forth? What are the emotions like right now?
It's a great feeling, you know, high-stakes baseball like that, back and forth. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So,
you played a big part in this game. Throughout, big at-bats, grit at-bats over and over and over again. What about this game? What about the pitching that you saw today allowed you to continue to come through?
You know, just staying gritty every at-bat, you know, fighting off pitches that I didn't necessarily like, you know, hoping to get a good one that I did, and just putting the ball in play and make the defense work, you know. So
now talk about the ninth inning. You in the leadoff spot. Your team's down a run. What's your approach? You know, you draw that walk to get on base, and then you represent the tying run. Talk about your approach going into that at-bat in the ninth inning.
Just any way on, you know, any way to get the next guy up, and luckily, you know, he was missing his spots, and I took advantage of that and was able to draw the walk, and the rest is history, you know.
What is the emotion like when that ball gets through and you're round around third, bang, bang, play at the dish coming up?
Run. Run.
I love it. You guys are running on. You got another game here tonight against the top seed, MSOE. What's the mindset right now? You guys are probably thrilled out of your minds after a win like that.
Oh, yeah. We're hungry, you know, so we're going to keep fighting any way that we can and hopefully get another one here tonight. So
Jacob Clayman and Marian to take on MSOE later on tonight. Scheduled for a 7 o'clock first pitch. Jacob, congrats to this one. Enjoy it for the time being, and good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.